What's up, guys? KDOT357 coming to you here this morning. Today's the 11th. It's Tuesday. So me and Brian, one of my guys who I worked with in law enforcement for a number of years, he works for me some part-time, but we're going to move probably today to move this laser training unit out here on the floor of the store. Those of you who's been in here a bunch of times, there's some targets over there by where those deer heads are and stuff, and we'll use those so folks can come in here and get a little taste of what this laser experience is like. It's really neat. We use now we're going to be doing it back there in the warehouse. I mean, as far as a more permanent basis, and the only thing that I'm waiting on right now is I've got a painter that, and I think it looks really good. He painted the outside of the of our building here, and he's going to paint the inside of the warehouse in the back, where we'll do our laser training. But I think we're going to just for you to come in and have a little fun with it. We're going to put it inside here in the store, and that way it gives us an opportunity to get very comfortable with the programs. Look, this thing will run. It's the software is actually called Laser software, and we're using, I believe, the Laser X version. There's a couple of versions that you can download, but from an instructor standpoint, it's awesome. It's going to be awesome. We use these guns, and we'll be getting some more of these too. We use these well, they're not guns. They mimic guns. They're made by NLT, Next Level Training. These are not cheap either. These are expensive. We're talking on the order of about $400. This represents a Glock 17. Now, all right, I'm not gonna start this video over, but what I did was I hit the mag release. There's weighted magazines, so you can do magazine changes. But what I really like about this is the trigger. I mean, you can hear it. You press it, let it out, you hear the reset, okay? The biggest thing, if you ask any instructor at all, if they're honest with you, the biggest mistake that we see on the range is poor trigger control. Poor trigger control. So this gun here, well, once again, not a gun, but it mimics a Glock 17, and I'm going to order a couple of more of these. You can get two of them. You can get the one that replicates a Glock 17 and another one that replicates a Smith & Wesson M&P pistol. So it has a green laser and it has a red laser, okay? You're not going to be able to see this, and I'm not going to point it necessarily, but and you can go on YouTube and just YouTube Next Level Training Guns, and you'll find all about these things. But obviously it's not going to go bang like a real gun. There's no working slide, and you're not going to have any felt recoil. Well, the whole idea is that we can train you to be very proficient with the trigger. And if you do the same thing on the range, you're going to get the same results. Yes, you're going to have noise. So I guess you could let noise and recoil throw you off to where you still move or jerk the gun, because your body perceives that noise and perceives that recoil as something negative, okay? And so since it perceives it as something negative, it's gonna, we have flinches and things like that. And look, if you move that front sight any at all, you're not gonna be where you were wanted to be. Now, because many times it's kind of funny, I'll have students out there on the range and they'll be aiming their gun, but yet the round will go off to the left or off to the right or down low, and they're like, Kevin, I was aiming right at that target right there at the center of it, and for some reason or another it went down there. Maybe my sights are off or something. No, you move the gun. You either flinched it, moved the front sights. Now, from 3 to 5 yards away, it's not going to be your error is not going to stand out as much. But you got to think about it. If you're off this much at 3 yards, you're going to be off, and my fingers go out of view. You're going to be way off from 25 yards back. Now, granted, in a lethal force encounter, most likely it's going to be between 3 and 5 yards. Okay, so that could be your saving grace there. Because when you fire at that bad guy, you should be shooting center mass anyway. Everybody says, well, hey, shouldn't I take his headshot? good luck with that. The head is a smaller target. The head moves. Okay, it's plain and simple. The center mass of your body, that it's just a bigger target. Not only that, that's where all the pumping organs are. If you want to stop the bad guy, that's where you need to put them at. I've mentioned this before in my videos that, people say, as a law enforcement officer, they say, well, hey, couldn't he have shot that guy in the leg or what have you? I mean, I know what they're saying is why did you have to kill him? Well, sir, ma'am, we weren't trying to kill them. We were trying to stop them from doing what they were doing. They were putting other people's lives in imminent danger of death or serious bodily harm. So we shoot center mass to stop the person. Okay, the intent is not to kill, it's to stop. Now, unfortunately, some byproduct of that sometimes is death. Okay, well, like I say, when you do stupid things, you win stupid prizes. But that's why we shoot center mass. Okay, once again, the arms, they're hard to hit. The legs are going to be hard to hit. And hey, if you weren't trying to kill them, you could, if you shot them in the leg, you could hit them in the femoral artery, and they're going to be what we call in law enforcement DRT, dead right there. They're going to bleed out. Most likely, they're not going to make it to the hospital. So if you shoot someone, you're shooting at them. You are delivering deadly force. Okay, you are inflicting deadly force on them, which could kill them. It may not, but it could. Okay, so obviously, you need to have the right and to be able to justify shooting someone, justify using deadly force that could possibly kill them. Okay, in other words, they need to be doing the same thing to you, or it's imminent that they're getting ready to do the same thing for you before you do that to them. And then you got all of about maybe a couple seconds to decide. Okay, because that's a whole nother subject, is having the wherewithal to use a firearm. You may be a darn good marksman, but if the moment of truth came, you may not be able to press the trigger on a human being. And you may say, well, a bad guy could. Well, don't be so sure about that. Once again, that's why training comes into play. You've got to have the wherewithal to do that, and there's just people out there that have no earthly idea what it's like to be in a real gunfight. Okay, they just don't know, and until you've been in a situation like that, you can say, well, I do this and I do that. Well, you just don't know until you've been there, and especially with a number of people, because human beings, we're all different and we all react to stress and trauma differently. So it's pretty interesting and can be complicated. I don't know if any of you ever heard of Dave Grossman, retired. He was an Army Ranger. He's taught at West Point, and he's really good. This guy goes around and gives speaking. He does speaking engagements. His famous seminar is called The Bulletproof Mind. He's got two really good books. One's called On Combat, and one is called On Killing. And the gist of it is he's interviewed hundreds of people that have been in combat type situations, law enforcement, military, just regular civilians, okay, and talked to them, and has gained a wealth of knowledge there, and he shares that in his book. One of those books, it may be On Combat, is required reading. I don't know if it still is. It probably is in the Marines. And I don't know if it's their combat officers that are required to read this. It may be all Marines. I don't know. I guess I need to maybe try to find out, but it doesn't matter. It's required reading because it's a good book. It's good stuff, and it's got a lot of good things in there as far as what the body goes through before, during, and after a shooting situation. Okay. But getting back to this next level training, like I say, we may today, being Tuesday, get this thing kind of set up in here and hopefully ready to go tomorrow. Ensure full tilt by this weekend. But these are neat. Like I say, they're weighted. They pretty much about the same weight of a real Glock 17. Fit in a Serpa holster. So this next level training gun will fit in any holster that a Glock 17 will fit in. Anyone, because it's shaped exactly like it, and so will the M&P Smith & Wesson that we'll be acquiring as well. And also for the AR-15, Next Level Training makes an actual bolt that replaces your bolt carrier group. And so every time you press that trigger, the laser comes on, and it's really cool because you can put the gun on safe, and you can press the trigger where you're not going to be able to press all the way through on it, and there will be no laser. So the laser's only going to come on when you take the safety off. So that's where this big warehouse back here is going to come into play. We'll have little scenarios back there where maybe you're clearing a virtual room or what have you, because like I say, there's probably about 1,200-1,300 square feet back there. So we're going to have a lot of fun with it. You're going to have a lot of fun with it. It's going to be good training because, once again, I promise you, if you can master this, then you're so far ahead of the game when you go out there and you actually put live rounds down range. I promise you, if you do that. And the biggest thing that we're going to get you well schooled on is proper trigger manipulation. If you can do that with this gun, you can do it with a real gun. You can do that. Trust me, you can do that. I mean, shooting is a lot like a sport. Are there some folks out there that have a gift, a natural gift, to do it better than others, and seemingly require less training, but can do it pretty good? Sure. Not everybody can be Tiger Woods, or Arnold Palmer or Jack Nicklaus. I mean, I don't golf, but we all know those people. We know they're experts at their game. Well, of course, Arnold has passed away, but you know what I'm talking about. The Michael Jordans of the world. Not everybody can be a Michael Jordan. I don't care how much you practice basketball. Michael has a gift, okay? He's gifted as well. And that's the way it is in a lot of other sports, and the same thing with shooting. But you can still train to be a good shooter. You can train to be a good shooter. You may not be able to be a world-class shooter where you go out there in these competitions and you fire all 6 rounds in about 3 seconds, and all of them hit the bullseye. But you can still do well enough to carry a firearm for defense and be able to place rounds center mass where they need to be, God forbid, if that moment ever came up. This is the equalizer, okay? Our little insurance policy that keeps us safe and keeps us alive, all right? But it don't do you a bit of good to carry one of these if you don't know how to use it. Or if you going around with the mindset saying, God Almighty, I hope I never have to use this thing. I hope I don't. Well, listen, what they're really saying is I just don't know how I'm going to fare if I have to use a gun. You have to know. You have to know that if you are confronted by a deadly force situation, you have to know that you can confidently respond. Respond with confidence, okay, and do what you got to do. Yeah, I hope and pray you never need it, but every day across this country, somebody does. Okay, somebody gets shot all the time, and God, I guess they still get shot more probably in Chicago than any other place, and the irony of that is they got about the strictest gun laws anywhere in the United States. So I open up in about 15 minutes, and I'm into this thing at 13 minutes, So anyway, Next Level Training, laser training here at Carolina Firearms Training and Gun Sales. It's right around the corner. We're probably going to move this thing inside so you can start having a little fun with it. But my man, once he finishes the paint job back there in the warehouse, we're going to decorate it up, put some banners up and things like that, American flag. Really cool. We're going to decorate it up. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then we can get serious about this thing back in the back, okay, with training. And then probably have you to go through some scenarios, maybe have like a little competition day on Saturday where perhaps you shoot a certain amount of targets in a certain amount of time, and whoever does it the fastest with the most hits maybe gets a box of ammo or something. We're going to give you something, we're going to give you a little incentive there, okay? But you can get a taste of it in this store. I think you'll find it probably addictive. Probably my biggest job, once I get this thing going, is to keep myself away from it. Of course, when it's slow, yeah, I'm probably going to pull off a few laser shots. But my guys, I won't get anything done out of them. But anyway, so, all right, I'm going to get out of here. Once again, we're located at 1606 Westover Drive, Sanford, NC 27330. Our phone number is area code 919-708-5475. And don't forget to visit us on the web at CarolinaFirearmsTraining.com, where you can register for classes. Speaking of classes, we've got 2 classes already posted in July. They're the first and the third Saturday. And we've got a class right around the corner on the 22nd. If you don't have a gun, we can rent you a Smith & Wesson Victory target pistol. It's a 22. We can rent it to you for 20 bucks. That includes the 30 rounds of ammo. All you gotta do is check it out and check it back in. You don't have to clean it or anything like that. You're gonna get 3 magazines. Some people call them clips. They're actually magazines, loaded with 10 rounds each because it's a 30 round course of fire. All right? So look forward to seeing you in the store and seeing you on the range. So I'll see you next time. Stay armed and stay safe.